Aircraft carriers are not just warships. They are sovereign pieces of territory that can move across oceans, project power thousands of kilometers away, and shape wars without firing a shot. For India, a maritime nation with a 7,500-kilometer coastline and trade routes that carry 90% of its commerce by volume, aircraft carriers have always symbolized not just naval strength, but national ambition. In this deep dive, we trace India's journey with aircraft carriers, from the legendary INS Vikrant, which blockaded Pakistan during the 1971 war, to the present INS Vikramaditya and IAC-1 Vikrant, and finally toward the ambitious 15-year prospective plan to build nuclear-powered supercarriers. This is the story of India's past, present, and future at sea. Before we move forward, please like, share, and subscribe Strategic Vanguard and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense, strategic, and international affairs. Tune into our video channels in YouTube and Rumble. And if you want to hear the audio version, tune into our Strategic Vanguard channels in Spotify and Amazon Music. The story begins in 1961, when India commissioned its first aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant, formerly HMS Hercules of the Royal Navy. For a newly independent nation, acquiring a carrier was nothing short of audacious. By 1971, Vikrant would prove her worth. During the Indo-Pakistan War, the Vikrant was deployed in the Bay of Bengal. Despite being an aging British warship, she became the decisive factor in enforcing a naval blockade of East Pakistan. Her Seahawk fighters and Alizé aircraft struck ports, supply ships, and fuel depots, effectively strangling Pakistani logistics. This blockade was one of the critical blows that led to Pakistan's surrender and the creation of Bangladesh. The message was clear. Carriers gave India not just naval power, but strategic leverage. After Vikrant, India commissioned INS Vikrant in 1987, the former HMS Hermes, another British veteran. Vikrant, with her Sea Harrier jump jets, served as the flagship of the Indian Navy for nearly 3 decades. She was central in power projection missions, exercises, and regional deployments. However, by the 2000s, both Vikrant and Vikrant were aging. India faced a choice: either abandon the carrier tradition or double down and modernize. India chose the latter. In 2013, India commissioned INS Vikramaditya, a modified Kiev-class carrier purchased from Russia. This decision was not without controversy. The ship, originally Admiral Gorshkov, was extensively refitted at Sevmaz shipyard in Russia. Delays and cost overruns plagued the project, but when Vikramaditya finally joined the fleet, she gave India a much-needed modern operational carrier. Carrying MiG-29K fighters, she became the symbol of continuity for India's carrier force, while the country embarked on an even bolder dream, building its own carrier from scratch. In 2022, India commissioned its first indigenously built aircraft carrier, the new INS Vikrant, IAC-1. This was not just a ship, it was a statement. At 43,000 tons, Vikrant marked India's arrival in the club of nations capable of designing and constructing carriers. Built at Cochin Shipyard, Vikrant carries MiG-29Ks and is expected to field future Indian aircraft like the twin-engine deck-based fighter, TEDBF. Challenges remain, particularly with aircraft availability and the CATOBAR, short takeoff but arrested recovery design. But Vikrant represents a monumental leap in self-reliance. Why do carriers matter for India? The answer lies in geography. The Indian Ocean is the artery of global trade, with choke points like the Strait of Hormuz and Malacca Strait lying within India's reach. For Pakistan, a single Indian carrier group is enough to impose blockade conditions, as seen in 1971. But the real challenge comes from China's People's Liberation Army Navy plan, which is rapidly expanding its carrier program. China now operates Liaoning, Shandong, and the new Fujian, a 80,000-ton carrier with advanced EMALS launch systems. With Beijing establishing a presence in Gwadar, Djibouti, and the Maldives, India needs credible carrier strike groups to deter and balance this presence. Carriers, despite being vulnerable to missiles, remain unmatched in sustained air power projection at sea. Before we move forward, please like, share, and subscribe Strategic Vanguard and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense, strategic, and international affairs. Tune into our video channels in YouTube and Rumble. And if you want to hear the audio version, tune into our Strategic Vanguard channels in Spotify and Amazon Music. India's long-term naval blueprint envisions a three-carrier doctrine, one carrier each for the eastern and western seaboards, and one in reserve refit. The next step is INS Vishal, IAS-2, a proposed 65,000-plus ton carrier with CATOBAR or even EMALS systems. Crucially, discussions have centered on making Vishal nuclear-powered, giving it unlimited endurance at sea, power to support advanced launch systems, ability to field UAVs, AWACS, and next-gen fighters. The U.S. has shown willingness to share EMALS technology under defense cooperation frameworks. If realized, India's nuclear carrier would rival the most advanced navies in the world. But hurdles remain. Cost estimates of 90,000 plus crore. Balancing submarines versus carriers in naval spending. Developing nuclear propulsion domestically. China is not waiting. Its Fujian carrier already surpasses India's current fleet. Future Chinese carriers may even be nuclear-powered. India's answer cannot be in numbers. It must be in capability, doctrine, and alliances. A single Indian carrier strike group, fully networked with P-8I surveillance aircraft, Arihant-class SSBNs, and satellites, can dominate the Indian Ocean choke points. Integration with Quad navies, US, Japan, Australia, enhances deterrence. The race is not just about carriers, but about shaping the maritime order of the Indo-Pacific. What will fly off India's nuclear carriers? MiG-29Ks will phase out. TEDBF, twin-engine deck-based fighter, under development by HAL and AEA, will be the workhorse. Unmanned combat drones, carrier-borne UAVs are also on the horizon. Integration of AWACS platforms with EMALS will extend carrier strike ranges dramatically. India is not just building carriers, it is shaping an ecosystem of naval aviation. By the late 2030s, India could operate 3 to 4 aircraft carriers, 2 conventional, 1-2 nuclear. Carrier strike groups with destroyers, frigates, nuclear subs, and logistics ships. Indigenous naval fighters and UAVs. This would place India firmly in the league of blue water navies, able to project power from the Persian Gulf to the Pacific. For India, nuclear carriers are not about prestige. They are about ensuring that sea lanes remain free, regional balance is maintained, and India's voice is heard in global strategy. As we look ahead, one truth stands out. Aircraft carriers are not just platforms of war, they are platforms of national ambition. From Vikrant's daring blockade in 1971, to the indigenous leap of IAC-1, and now to the dream of nuclear supercarriers, India's journey reflects both resilience and aspiration. In the next 15 years, as the Indian Navy sails toward nuclear-powered carriers, the question is not just whether we can build them, but whether we can wield them wisely, in a world where the oceans are once again becoming the stage of great power rivalry. India's carriers are more than warships. They are the flag bearers of a nation that seeks not just to defend its shores, but to shape the destiny of the seas. Thank you for joining us on this Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive. If you found value in this analysis, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We bring you fresh deep dives every Wednesday and Saturday here on YouTube and Rumble, and you can also catch the audio versions on Spotify and Amazon Music. Just search for Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive. For more insights, articles, and discussions, subscribe to our blog at strategicvanguard.com. Your support helps us grow and bring you more in-depth analysis on defense, geopolitics, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay strategic.